What if everything you've been chasing, the money, the status, the relationships, the validation, what if none of it was ever going to be enough? Not because you were asking for too much, but because you were looking in completely the wrong place. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about the last time you achieved something you really wanted. That promotion. That relationship. That number in your bank account. Do you remember what happened next? There was a rush. A moment of relief. And then, slowly, quietly, that familiar feeling crept back in. That hollow whisper that said, something is still missing. If that hits close to home, stay with me. Because what I'm about to share might be the most important thing you've ever heard about yourself. Lesson 1. The illusion, why external success will never fill an internal void. The greatest lie we are sold is this, that the right external circumstances will finally make us feel whole. We tell ourselves, once I make more money, once I find the right person, once I travel to that place, once I build that life, then I'll feel it. That peace. That enoughness. That feeling of arriving. But here is the painful, liberating truth, you bring yourself to every achievement. And if something is broken on the inside, no amount of success on the outside will ever reach it. This is not a flaw in your ambition. It is a flaw in the direction of your search. Lesson 2. The core problem, the feeling doesn't live in your circumstances. The first thing you must understand is that the feeling of not enough does not live in your circumstances. It lives at your core. And every time you silence your own instincts, every time you override what your body is telling you to protect what you want to believe, you widen that gap between yourself and yourself. You stop being your own ally. And when you stop trusting yourself, you don't need anyone else to betray you. You do it quietly, automatically, every single day. Think about how many times you have over-explained yourself to someone who had already made up their mind about you. How many times you smiled through discomfort to keep the peace. How many times you stayed, for someone's potential, for a relationship's memory, for a version of someone that only existed in your hope. Every one of those moments sent your nervous system one quiet message: your feelings don't matter enough to protect. Lesson 3. The small surrenders, how self-respect dies 1,000 quiet deaths. And that is how self-respect dies. Not in a single dramatic moment, but in 1,000 small surrenders. In every boundary you didn't hold. In every instinct you talked yourself out of. In every apology you gave when you were the one who was wronged. Every time you let someone interrupt you, dismiss you, or walk away without accountability, and you said nothing, you taught yourself that silence was safer than self-respect. And slowly, without even realizing it, you started to believe them. Lesson 4. The closure trap, why that final conversation will never bring you peace. The second thing you must understand is this: chasing closure from people who benefit from your confusion is not healing. It is prolonging attachment. Their silence was the answer. The conversation you keep replaying will not give you peace. Peace is not something they hand you. It is something you decide. The moment you accept what reality has already shown you, power returns to you. You stop living inside someone else's story and finally come back to your own. Lesson 5. The turning point, where real transformation actually begins. Here is where real transformation begins. Not in the gym. Not in the bank account. Not in the relationship. It begins the morning you wake up and decide to stop abandoning yourself. It begins when you replace over-explaining with a quiet, unshakable no. When you stop performing your worth for people who were never going to recognize it. When you understand that love, real love, does not ask you to lose yourself to keep it. Attachment says I cannot lose this. Love says I will not lose me. Lesson 6. The environment factor. What you allow around you shapes who you become. Your environment shapes you more than you know. The voices you allow in, the content you consume, the people you orbit, they are either building your sense of self or quietly eroding it. You don't need to cut everyone off. But you do need to become intentional about what you allow to have access to you. Because every conversation that makes you feel small, every space that drains your energy, every voice that confirms your worst fears about yourself, these are not neutral. They are active. And you have more power over them than you have ever chosen to exercise. The call to action. Your transformation starts from within. Take back your power today. The external world can be wonderful. Build it. Enjoy it. But understand, it will never do the inner work for you. Self-respect is not built by becoming cold. It is built through clarity. Clarity about what you tolerate. Clarity about what you deserve. Clarity about what you are finally willing to walk away from. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply someone who has been searching outside for something that has always lived within. The work is not out there. It never was. It is here. In this moment. In the decision you make right now to stop betraying the person who needs you most, yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Choosing to invest time in your own growth is not a small thing, it is everything. The fact that you are here, that you listened, that you are willing to look inward when the world keeps pointing outward, that already says something powerful about who you are becoming. Keep going. Keep choosing yourself. Keep doing the quiet, difficult, necessary work that most people avoid. You are closer than you think. Until next time, stay grounded, stay fearless, and stay becoming.